Intersection of autism and histrionic personality disorder. World nations are trying to normalize man while attractiveness not in my cave. Would do anything to believe the existence of the state of you know. Illicit heroin and manufactories in Greenland. This was my code-crying song in grade 5. I thought the lyrics were I'll be just fine pretending I'm 9, and I was like, bro, I'm 9, this guy gets me. Funny grief that countries like Russia and Cuba do start lots of troubles, inevitably sanctioned, then blame all of their problems on the US. Insanely effective, even if taking their own economies and political systems. The ruling elite benefited a lot. They can do basically whatever they want, leech every penny from people in their society, and blame it all on the US somehow. Those suffering people will somehow believe it. Pathetic as it is bizarre, killing a police officer basically makes you the most respectable person in existence. Self-help, everything is your fault. Must visualize what you want and obtain it magically. If you cannot failed, then it is all your fault. Self-care, everything with you is fine already. Don't worry about anything, man. Perfect as it is, nothing needs to change. These ideas are really the only options offered to people by mainstream society in order to help people understand and better themselves. And they are both total hokum and do not elaborate on the very real and obvious, often inchangeable circumstances, which actually leads to many less helplessly suffering. Victoria 3 is by far the most feminist paradox game as of yet. Of course, it being the best, no one wants to play it. Heterosexual furries rise up. We shan't be lumped in with those queeros. Furry pride worldwide. Modeling about women. How manly you are. Perks of being white and preferred by moneylenders. Strange autoimmune diseases of unknown etiology. If you are ever feeling sadly in life, please remember, at least you aren't from Northern Ireland. Black people slowly realizing that there are multiple societies that are more oppressed than them. 20 years ago, a bug painted his nails. People made fun of him and called him a girl. Nowadays, those same people complain about genders. It's truly ridiculous how little self-awareness some people have. Amazonian pee-hole worms have more emotional maturity than the average Gen Xer. Do what it takes to numb the pain. The reason boomers love minions so much is because they are exploited for free labor and find joy in their plight. The pinnacle of the human species, descendants of ancient mariners who traversed the seas as if they were fording a river, seeking repentance from God rather than the people one has transgressed against, is truly reprehensible. Or human fetuses by law should only be created from the sperm of a genetically superior gay elite. Straights will be used as mind slaves as well as dung collectors, and their fickle genes not passed on. Generally, old people become more bigoted as they age. Their updated beliefs and customs clash with the conveniences and truths of modern reality. However, this obvious clash in inherent insecurity in one's own knowledge and understanding also makes them more nihilistic and cynical. Sort of a good way, they are willing to entertain anything as long as you get them to really think about it. This is in complete opposition to the naive idealism of teenage Nazis and communists who will not entertain even the most obvious of facts if it contradicts their preconceived. We must feed linear Unicode glyphs into this machine, plus reference them with phonetic other logographic writing styles. This way we will be able to resurrect carcass or tap into their advanced bronzoid technologies that have been lost to time. Synagogues have mystical, hypnotic, intoxicating qualities. Orthodox be like they build big temple with slave labor and lots of jewels. This means you more in touch with God. Ooga booga. Dios are intensely sexy creatures. Bulgarian is a pidgin language constructed from Bulgarian, Hungarian, spoken in Bulgari, which was settled by Bulgarians and Hungarians in 1952. It has led to some confusion and controversy in Bulgaria. Well, that's that calling the language Bulgarian is confusing. The residents of Bulgari disagree. Traditionalists are not really traditionalists, they're modernists. They attempt to pass off modern innovations as ancient. Now Jesus was Cajun because he ate fish for breakfast. Real Cajuns eat seafood for breakfast. I enjoy my Degliani paintings. This is what ancient Europeans looked like 12,000 years ago, after emerging from the undersea suburbs of Atlantis. Ben Shapiro laundering of people's social security checks still gold dealers. This Jew science makes 100 cents slicing a bagel. By slicing wood at the sawmill creates bread dust. Valuable bread dust falls in the form of useless crumbs, which now are unsellable and serve no valuable purpose, except dishing the consumer to buy and slice bagels. The bread dust quandary is passed off to them, laughing at impotent displays of power. We need genetically engineered vegetables that can experience suffering, so the conservatives will eat. We need genetically engineered vegetables that can experience suffering, so the conservatives will eat them. We need genetically engineered vegetables that can experience suffering, so the conservatives will eat them. We need genetically engineered vegetables that can experience suffering, so the conservatives will eat them. We need genetically engineered vegetables that can experience suffering, so the conservatives will eat. We need genetically engineered vegetables that can experience suffering, so the conservatives will eat them, them. If you die from a vaccine, your immune system is weak and you deserve it.